Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today's topic is going to be what's all this talk about safety, right? Because I'm using that word all the time in all these videos, so many of them. So I'm going to get into that in a minute. Relax, breathe. Why do I do this? Because a relaxed body, comfortably breathing, conveys directly to the subconscious brain, wherever that is in the head, conveys that we're okay. Because if we weren't, we wouldn't be relaxed and breathing comfortably. We would be in a much different state physically. So get yourself in a relaxed body so that you can breathe. Right. Good. All right. So if you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I've put forth this concept, and it's the reality, it's not just an idea, that when the brain perceives danger, it creates symptoms. Okay? So perceived danger, pain, perceived danger, symptoms. The perception of danger by the brain, if it thinks something bad is going on, it's going to warn you, and the way it warns us is it turns on a symptom. Keeping things as simple and high level as possible. If the brain is perceiving danger, the solution is always going to be to convey to the same brain that the danger is false. It's perceived, not actual. So there's a lot that goes into this, but it really doesn't have to be overly complicated. So the perception of danger is what turns on pain or other symptoms. And so what can some of those perceived dangers be? Pain, symptoms themselves, for sure, right? The perception that we've had an injury because we had an acute onset of pain and we go, oh, I must have injured myself, right? But if you didn't get hit or crash a car or fall, an onset of pain is not necessarily evidence of injury. It's evidence that the brain's perceiving danger. So what else can the brain perceive as dangerous? Negative emotions. If we go back to Sarno, he said repressed negative emotions getting close to consciousness was perceived by the brain as a problem, and the brain would distract us with something physical like pain. So yes, negative emotions could be perceived by the brain as dangerous. Our own thinking, our thoughts, if we're thinking scary, dark, depressing, predicting the worst future for ourselves, catastrophizing, that's going to sound the alarms in the brain, and it can turn on symptoms. How about this? Fear of medical appointments, investigations, treatments. That can up the brain's alert system and cause symptoms. You ever get nervous before a dental appointment and all of a sudden your symptoms are worse? Ding, ding, ding. That's why. The brain's perceiving danger. How about a diagnosis, even an incorrect one? When you're told you're broken, guess what that does? Conveys the brain, or it confirms the brain's perception of danger. So, a diagnosis, we want to utilize the TMS perceived danger assessments to determine what's going on. Is this PDP.com? So look for the two assessments. One is a link that takes you somewhere else for a quiz, but the other is right in the body of the text of that page. It's called the FIT assessment. So the brain can also perceive movement as dangerous. Getting up from a couch, sitting down, walking, running, lifting something, bending over, sleeping on the wrong side of your body, etc. Even certain body positions can be perceived as dangerous. I talk to people all the time who hurt when they sit or hurt when they stand. Body positions. Self-judgment and criticism, right? Just look at it this way. If you're judging yourself and criticizing yourself, you're beating the crap out of yourself, does your brain perceive that as a safe feeling or more in the danger category? Social stress, work stress, financial stress. So these are some things that can be kind of scary, right? And so those things can turn on or turn up symptoms. Other things, sensitivities to foods and chemicals, right? They can be perceived as dangerous, especially if you have reacted to those things in the past. Your brain can say, oh no, I'm smelling perfume. Symptoms can come up. Fear of medication, side effects, or the effects of withdrawing from medications. That can absolutely turn on perceived danger. Abandonment and fears, relationship stress, right? These are all things that the brain can perceive as dangerous. And I'm probably missing a bunch. So what's all this fuss about safety? What's the deal with safety? Well, we experience the world mentally, physically, emotionally. Okay? That's how we experience things. Whether you're a year old or, 99, we all experience the world mentally, physically, emotionally. And so to me, it stands to reason that if I can feel safer, not completely safe, but safer, mentally, physically, emotionally, guess what? My brain is going to come from this level of vigilance and it's going to settle down because we're feeling safer in the three ways that we experience life in the world. So, emotional safety. Feel your emotions. Don't judge yourself for having the emotions in the first place. But then don't ruminate on the story behind it. That's it. Through exposure, through practice, through just allowing ourselves to feel the emotions without judging ourselves harshly, the brain will learn that emotions are safe. Simple. Physical safety. I just did it in the beginning of this video. A relaxed body, breathing comfortably, conveys physical safety. All right? Mental safety. Simply put, don't believe your own thinking. We all have negative thoughts. You don't have to stop them. We don't have to fix them because that would be exhausting. But we don't have to believe the negative, fearful, catastrophic thinking, these horrible predictions about our future. We don't have to believe those thoughts. And with practice, we can learn to not believe them. So what's the deal with this safety stuff? All this talk about safety. Because honestly, perceived danger is the problem. It really is what is creating these symptoms. Thereby, if you can teach the brain that you're actually safe, symptoms come down. I've been teaching these concepts long enough that I see it working over and over and over again. People in my group coaching tell stories in the beginning how they were like, yeah, my symptoms got up pretty high, but I didn't react with my normal freak out. I kind of reinforced that I was okay, reassured myself, and sure enough, the symptoms came down within a reasonable period of time, a couple hours. Whereas previously, had they fueled that slight increase in symptoms with fear and freak out, I can assure you the symptoms would not have come down as quickly. Perceived danger, problem, safety, the solution. So if I don't link it in the description of this video, you can either search for it or just remind me, leave a comment. But there is a video called Consistent Messages of Safety, 24 examples. There's a whole bunch of them. Everything from doing normal activities, to feeling your emotions, to relaxed body, to not believing your thoughts, right? To like shifting your attention from, I gotta fix and get rid of this symptom, to what's more useful, productive, meaningful, joyful. I'm going to shift my attention to doing normal things. I'm going to engage my brain in something else other than the symptoms themselves. Because fear and attention are the two things that keep symptoms going. Another thing that's a huge message of safety is how we respond to our symptoms themselves. If you're responding with fear, freak out, frustration, anger, rage, jealousy of other people who are doing better than you are, that's not conveying very much safety, is it? No, it's not. So I just really wanted to talk about this whole concept of safety. It's super important. And feeling safer will absolutely affect your mental health status as well. Anxieties, depressions When you feel safe, guess what? You're not as anxious. You're not as depressed. Why? Because when you're feeling safe, you kind of have a little bit more hope for your future. And depression is sadness plus no hope. So you find some hope, depression can settle. Anxieties can go away. Anxiety is just yet another symptom of a brain perceiving danger. If you want to know the various symptoms, look back a few days. I did, maybe 10 days ago, a list of conditions caused by a brain perceiving danger. And there's a whole host of conditions. So, what's all the fuss about safety? It's because it is the solution. So, I'll be talking about this stuff more. I don't have new information, but I'm going to reframe it and position it from different angles. But perceived danger is a problem. Safety is a solution. You don't have to necessarily figure out that perceived danger, what it is, what's my brain afraid of. Sometimes it's obvious. If it's obvious, call it out. But if it's not, okay, let me move on to reassuring myself I'm okay. I don't need to figure out the perceived danger. Because if you could, sometimes that leads you to believe, oh, that perceived danger is a trigger. I must avoid that from now on. Well, when we avoid something, we're basically confirming the brain's belief that that thing we're avoiding now is the problem. That's the danger. And when we do that enough, our world gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until we don't do much at all. So, identifying the perceived danger is only minimally useful. If it's obvious, call it out. If it's not obvious, say, all right, my brain must be perceiving danger. Common question, why did my symptoms get worse? Because your fear, your perceived danger, your worry, your doubt about what's causing the symptoms has gone up. How many people here? Comment below. When your symptoms get worse, you start to doubt whether or not your brain is causing it. You start to say, there must be something physical. I'm hurting so bad. No. It just means that if your symptoms are there or getting worse, it means the brain's perceiving danger. So I hope this makes sense. I'm going to wrap it up here. So that's what all the fuss is about this thing called safety. It is the solution to a brain perceiving danger. So I hope this makes sense. Comment below if you like it. Share it widely if you think other people can benefit by it in your circle of influence. If you're not yet a subscriber on YouTube, hit the big red button. If you're on Facebook and you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like more help, go to dansfaststart.com. The core videos that make up the key concepts that I teach all the time are in that Fast Start. A lot of people are getting better just watching that. If you'd like some support directly with me and hang out with me on a weekly basis, join the group, painfreeyougroup.com. And by the way, if you've had success with this work and you'd like to share that, get on my calendar and let's have a talk on video and you can share your story. We can do it with just your first name so nobody's going to look you up. So go to talkwithdan.com, get on my schedule, share your story. Because if you were able to get better with this work, other people want to know. It inspires. If it only inspires one other person, great. But most of these success stories get viewed thousands of times. So you can inspire a lot of people by sharing your success. Anyway, love you all. And as usual, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.